back here again.
Hey Bol, introduce yourself to the viewers.
Sure, my name is Bol Mayan and I am from the Seed Network.
Where were you born?
I was born in Khartoum, Sudan, but my family is originally from Abyei in South Sudan, which is in the border of the north and the south.
What's the Seed Network like? What do you want to tell to the young viewers?
Perfect. So the Seed Network is a platform to showcase African Australians who are doing amazing work and to inspire young people to reach and achieve what they want to achieve. And we have the Seed Network to share stories that might relate with young people, to inspire them to go for this and go for that. But yeah, the whole idea of the Seed Network is just to sit down with people who have incredible stories to share with the world, and yeah, see how that goes.
What's your driving force?
My driving force is to showcase that there's a bunch of amazing Africans living in Australia that are doing amazing work that aren't getting the recognition they deserve. I remember when I went to London last year, people were shocked that I was African Australian. So not much people know that African Australians exist in the first place, and it makes sense. I think we've been here for around 30 years. So we're very new, but we would like to have a big impact in the world by showing how cool we are and how awesome we are, and African Australians rule.
What's your goals with the Seed Network and what do you want to accomplish?
Great question. My goals with the Seed Network is to continue sitting down with people, not just in Australia, but all around the world. I'd love to talk to Africans around the world on their experiences to where they are, how that was like, and the experiences that they had. And I would also like to sit down with people who have accomplished massive things, either athletes, celebrities, just anyone who's done amazing stuff that is unbelievable or we wouldn't think of achieving when we were back home in Africa. So those are the people that I want to sit down with and listen to their stories and their journeys and see how they could help young people and inspire young people to achieve their goals as well.
How did you start the Seed Network, and like what's your advice to other young viewers that want to do their own thing in the future?
Sure, I think that's a great question. How I started the Seed Network was I had to first figure out what I really liked doing. And what I realized was I really enjoy sitting down with people and having conversations and asking questions. My whole life, I was always a curious young person. And my last job, I would always get people saying that I asked too many questions, but I knew that it was good to ask questions. So that was the first thing that I did, was figure out what I liked. And when I realized that that was what I liked, I tried to figure out a job that could help me add that to the job. And then I was listening to a lot of podcasts during COVID, and I was like, this would be such an amazing job to do. I didn't even think of doing it. I just thought that would be a great job to do. I've also spent heaps of time with my mother, and that was during COVID. I wanted to know a little bit more about her journey and her, because there was nothing much to do but to get closer to people. And when I sat down with her and heard all her incredible stories, what she was like when she was younger, her siblings, the journey to Australia, which I didn't remember at all because I was way too young, that definitely inspired me to want to get these kind of stories out there to people, because I think you can't really understand how lucky we have it until you have something to compare it to. I'm lucky that I was born there and slowly migrated here, so I kind of know how lucky we are to be here. But a lot of people that are born in Australia, it's not their fault at all, don't really realize how lucky they are because there's nothing really to compare it to. So I really want to just showcase these young people, these stories that our parents had to go through, our older siblings had to go through, and just to show them that it was a very difficult journey, and we are a small handful of people that were lucky enough to be granted this opportunity. So that was how it started, and that drive just got me focused on wanting to get more stories out there, wanting to sit down with more people, and not just people that are migrated here, but also people that are born in Australia. I like to hear their experiences, what they went through, and how we could also help them in any way, shape, and form.
What's the love for filmmaking and social media?
Yeah, that's a great question. My whole life, when I was in Egypt, I used to always love watching TV. I used to love watching what was happening in America. I used to love music videos, and I think at one point my mum thought I was going to be a musician, because every time someone was on TV singing, I would get up and sing and dance. So she thought I was going to be an entertainer or a singer. And then as I got older, I think she realized that dream was going to fade because my voice dropped and I wasn't a singer. But I still loved creating videos. I still loved watching movies. I was obsessed with movies. but I never really thought I could actually do anything to do with filming. I just thought that was too complex for me. But as I got older, I was skateboarding a lot, so I was around cameras and I was around people that were filming skate videos and they were put on YouTube for people to see and people to see around the world. So I was skating for 13 years, being around cameras, and prior to that I was always watching movies. It wasn't until I think during COVID when I realized that, wow, I've actually been around cameras my whole life and I actually love creating content. I love seeing content. I watch content all the time. I'm always on my phone. So I thought to myself, I'm always watching content and I'm always scrolling, and I know that this is going to keep on happening. This is where the future is going. So why not be a part of actually creating content instead of just enjoying the content? And yeah, it was an interesting start. I started off with, you know, figuring out what I would want to create, what content do I want to create. And it was very daunting. It wasn't easy. It was very, I'm not a person that's usually on screen as well, so I don't know how I was going to go with it. So I had to get rid of that fear first, but then I also had to learn as much as I can on YouTube about content creating, this and that. And then the more I did that, the more sets I was at, the more shoots I went to, the more love I felt for the filming. I loved everything from the lights, the mic person, the cameras. I loved all that, and to this day it's been probably 3 years being involved with cameras and filming and content creating, and all I think about is what can I create, what video can I create next, how can I get this video, how can I, what can I create? And that's what I love, and I don't think it's going to go anytime soon.
Very inspiring. Well, do you think you're making a change with the African community because of the youth these days?
I hope so. I really hope so. I really hope that I'm inspiring young people who are like me once upon a time, who were afraid to be in front of the screen, in front of, you know, people, just to go out there and just to do it anyways. I hope people are inspired by these people that I have on the show. I hope they're inspired by their stories. I hope people are realizing that it's fine to talk to each other. It's fine to listen to each other. It's fine to give each other a platform and understand each other instead of just fighting and arguing. I hope that's people are getting from our show, and that's what our goal is with the C Network. So I try not to focus too much on what people say or what people are feeling about the C Network and what we do. I just want to focus on creating the best content I can, creating the best conversations I can, building the best relationships I can. So yeah, it's daunting. I think thinking about what people think of it kind of freaks me out, but I hope the best, and if not, I would love to hear feedbacks and how we can improve and how we could get this show better and bigger.